Okay, so time and time again, some of the bank analysts and investors that we've been talking to say that they doubt this Volcker Rule is going to pass as it stands. What is your take?
About the political of whether it will pass, or about the merits of the policy?
About the political will, that essentially that this is going to get watered down when it gets to Congress.
I will just say two things about that. The first is, on the politics, this is not at all a partisan issue. If you look at the people who, over the last several months, have come out in favor of this Volcker Rule, if you want to call it that, it's, you know, Nicholas Brady, the former Secretary of the Treasury.
What do you mean if we want to call it that? I think that's what the president has called it. Yeah,
the president has termed the Volcker Rule. That's not what Nicholas Brady called it. But what I'm saying is, Brady, Bill Donaldson, a series of Republicans as well as Democrats, a lot of leading financial figures are for this. So I at least think that politically there's the possibility that this is not going to be a partisan issue. It's clearly opposed by the couple of three biggest banks in the country who would be affected, but they seem to have hired millions of dollars of lobbyists to go out and oppose virtually everything we've got going in the financial reg reform plan. So I guess I'm not surprised by that.
Austan, this is Peter Cook on the Hill with Betty. We have heard from some Democrats, including the Senate Banking Committee Chairman Christopher Dodd, who stood there at the announcement the other day. He has expressed, if you will, at least some reservations about this plan, whether or not it can be included in the reg reform package. If you don't have all the Democrats on board, again, the chances for this, what's the assessment there at the White House? Is this going to be an uphill fight?
Well, look, guys, I'm not a political strategist, so we're not going to get into vote counts. I know that Chairman Dodd, as you know, was at the announcement. Of course, you got to do the details right on this thing. If you did it in some bad way, everyone should oppose it. But if you do it the right way, what the Volcker Rule says is that you shouldn't be able to take a backstop of the safety net provided by the taxpayer and turn around and use that to invest for your own bottom line and lining your own pocket, as opposed to doing things for your clients. And I think there's pretty widespread support of that throughout much of the business community, throughout a lot of the financial industry, just not by the few really big banks who are making a whole bunch of money doing exactly that.